Just when I think this is a one-person sewing room.
And then I watched TikTok and that made me feel better. Well, I'm not unclogging it this time. Almost an entire roll of toilet paper. It's so cute!
Hi there, I have kind of a fun video to film today. I have a small collection of vintage table linens. I've had some of them for quite a long time, and then others I've gotten recently. Like I got this one at one of Layla's estate sales, I think for like $5. And this one I thrifted for just, I think it was $1. So cheap. And I've always just thought they were cool, but then I opened my cabinet recently and realized that it would be even more cool if I could upcycle a few of these into things that I will actually get to use all the time. And while these are tablecloths, I'm not a big tablecloth user. Like I have a few that fit my big table that I use sometimes for holidays or whatever, but these aren't that big and I don't really find myself using them, especially if they don't really match my decor. Let me pause to tell you that our guitar and bass guitar teacher is here. And so if you hear that noise, that's all that is. I'm gonna film anyway. So I have some of these and I was trying to brainstorm what can I do with these in order to either make them into gifts or things I will get to use more often than I would use a square vintage tablecloth in colors that don't match my house. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to turn some of these into aprons. And I'm going to start with this one because I think it's really cool. It's probably from the 60s, would you guess? And I just think it's cool. It has a couple of little holes. That wouldn't bother me if I were gonna use it as a tablecloth. But I think as a fall apron, it's gonna be super cool. And then this one I thought about turning into an Ogden cami, because have you seen people wearing like vintage tablecloths as clothes? They just cut them up and make them into clothes. It's so pretty, but actually I think this is really pretty and it's in good shape. And it's small enough to be more like a centerpiece table mat. So I'm gonna keep this one as it is. And then if I don't use it in the next year or two, then maybe I'll turn it into clothes. And then this one I decided to actually keep because it's pretty darn big and it's very fallish. And I have actually used this with a tablescape before. And since it's bigger, I'm gonna keep that one as is. This one is probably my favorite one and it's the one I've had the longest. I don't honestly remember where it came from, but it has some holes and it has a pretty large stain right smack in the middle. So I was brainstorming because I only need so many aprons, you know, and I could make some as gifts. I think I'm going to turn this into an apron for a gift for a certain someone. And I like the idea of using this for an apron because you can really play with the pattern and the placement of it on the apron. And I think that would be fun. But this one, I thought maybe I could make tea towels. These are such nice cottons. But I actually have been wanting to make some elasticated bowl covers. So I think I'm gonna figure out how to do that and turn this into some of those. If you want to see that video, for sure let me know in the comments. But for today, I'm Nikki, this is Pin Cut Sew, and we're going to turn this vintage tablecloth into an apron, into something that I will use much more often than I would use as a tablecloth. So here's my plan. I actually already have an apron tutorial and I have a printable apron tutorial. So it's video and it's a printable one. It does not include a pattern piece. It rather helps you draft an apron to fit yourself. And so if you can draw a rectangle, you can draft your own apron pattern. And then you have it to use over and over and over. And then you'll know exactly how to make it wider or taller or like child size. So what you need to do this kind of apron that I'm about to make is your apron pattern. Here's mine. I will link you to the video and to the printable version of this. It's very simple. See how simple this is? Very simple. Or you need an apron that you already have that you like how it fits. And for this that I'm gonna make, it needs to be a basic shape of apron. Nothing with like ruffles and things like that. So regular old apron shape. Or you need an apron pattern that you already have. So what I'm going to make is, someone's coming. Oh, Natalie's home. What I'm going to make, I saw this, I was on Anthropologie's website. Anthropologie, I love, but usually I'm not willing to pay Anthropologie's prices. So they have what they call a smock apron on their website. It costs $105. Yeah, I'm filming though.
Are you almost done?
With the intro. Okay. Let me just finish the intro. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, this apron costs $105. It's a very basic shape, and I'm going to use my already made apron pattern to to turn it into this smock apron. I have some pictures of it. So instead of tying, it has like a crisscross strap that hooks to the back. Thankfully, and this is a hot tip, if you ever want to copy something you see online, usually they include the measurements. So blessedly, Anthropologie included the exact width I need to make this apron. So I'm just going to turn this pattern into that apron. Let's get started. Okay, I have folded my tablecloth in half. Most of the time, these do not have a stretch either way. Pretty sturdy fabrics. And then I'm going to get my apron pattern. I already know I want it a little bit shorter than my current one because it's a smock style. I don't want to feel overwhelmed in it. So making it 2.5 inches shorter, I just folded up this edge. Okay, so it fits perfectly around this hole that I have right here. I don't want that hole in there. If you're tracing your existing apron, be sure and add a 5/8 of an inch hem on all sides, and then on the top and bottom add 1¼ inches so that you can have space for hems. But my apron is not as wide as the smock apron needs to be because the straps meet in the back. And if I made it like this, the straps would have to pull pretty far or be really loose. And so, thankfully, again, the website provided me with a measurement, and it needs to be, let's see, what did it say? Oh, I forgot it. Let me get it. Okay. On their website, they said the width was 35 inches, and mine is only 25. So I need to add a whole another 10. So I'm gonna add 5 more inches because with seam allowance, it needs to be about 36. So all I'm gonna do, add 5 inches to this entire side. Okay, and then since this is curved, I also need to continue on that curve. I have this fancy, you could eyeball it. Usually I freehand things, but if I have a tool, I guess I'll use it. I'm going to sort of mimic this curve and make this, I guess it's just pretty much straight actually. So maybe I do want this to go down a tiny bit more and curve that way. Okay, get this out of the way. And this is how I'm going to cut out my apron. And then up here, I'll still have space for 2 patch pockets in the front. And this up here will be the straps. So let me cut out the main piece first. If your tablecloth is smaller, of course you can just, looking for my rotary cutter, I'm losing everything. Oh, literally in front of my face. You can always do contrasting pockets and straps, and that would also be very cute. This is an awkward angle. Okay, at this point I'm gonna go hold it up to myself just to see. Okay, this is really gonna be cute. All right, so let me set this aside and cut the rest of my pieces. These I'm just going to probably rotary cut. In the picture of the Anthropologie apron, the pockets are actually pretty big. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna cut my straps from this part. Cut my pockets from this section. When I need to make something rectangular, I usually just get out a piece of printer paper. Let's see, this one has doll faces on it, but it'll still work. Okay, so patch pockets, I want them pretty big, but not this tall. Probably want them about like this tall. That's with a hem allowance, so maybe more like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut 2 pockets, maybe a little bit narrower. All right, so just to tell you, my pocket's going to be cut 8 by 10, almost 10. So I'm gonna cut 2 8x10 pockets out of this section right here. Again, trying to avoid my hole. What the heck? Oh. My original apron tutorial has 1 rectangular pocket divided into 2, and I really love that style also, but I'm gonna do what Anthropologie did in this case. Okay, so here's my 2 pockets, and now I'm gonna cut straps. I'm gonna cut them much longer than I need them to be now, And I think when I was looking at the picture, the straps are pretty wide. I'm gonna make them 2.5-inch straps. And so that means I need to double that, so that's 5, and then add a 1/2-inch seam allowance, so that's 6. So I'm gonna cut 2 long 6-inch strips. And then I will cut them down to size later. Okay, and I still have this fabric to play with. Okay, so there we go. I have cut all my pieces. First thing I'm going to do, make all the hems on my apron. So the first thing I like to do is start with the curved hems, and these can be tricky to press, but you can do it. So first we're gonna fold over a 1/4 inch, and you see how because it's cut on the bias, the curve is not that big of an issue. And then we're going to press that again, like so. Just make sure that you don't have any raw edges. Of course, if you have a serger and would prefer to serge off a 1/4 inch and then hem once, that's fine too. So first I'm going to hem both curved edges of my apron. Okay, there's the curved edges. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the sides of my apron. Turn it under and then turn it under again and stitch. All right, last part. I'm going to hem the top and bottom. This time I'm gonna turn under a 1/4 inch, and then I'm gonna turn under a whole inch. I guess I should measure. I'm filming. Oh, you can come in. You're feeling better?
Yes.
Good.
The sandwich was very good. Thank you so much for making it for me.
You are so welcome.
And then I watched TikTok and that made me feel better.
Oh, good.
Tell Layla she can put my burps in the videos. And my hip hops.
Right. You heard it, Layla.
No, I forgot I got toothpaste on my jacket.
Toothpaste on your jacket?
Yeah, the other day.
Today I picked up my quilt from the fair.
I saw.
And they gave me this cool little tag to sew on the back that says, it's shaped like a Kentucky license plate, and it says, what was it, 120th Kentucky State Fair participant.
Oh,
Isn't that cute?
that's so cute.
I'm making this really cool. I saw this apron on Anthropology. It's like a smock style apron. Guess how much it costs?
Like $300.
$100.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was gonna guess 100, but then I thought that was too low
For Anthropology.
Too low for Anthro.
Wear comfy things.
But as soon as I wear comfy things out in public, that's when the cute boys are out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't even hear it. Well, I'm not unclogging it this time.
No.
Almost an entire roll of toilet paper. It's so cute!
Okay, so just take anybody back who's been watching my channel since she was little. Okay, so I have an apron shape. It's wider than my typical apron shape. So now I'm going to prep my pockets. Okay, this is how you make a patch pocket. We're going to press a 1/4 inch to the back, and then you press 1 inch to the front. And then you stitch 1/2 inch just where you pressed. So I'm gonna stitch 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch seam on this side. It's okay if you get some stitches on this part.
Beep, boop, bop, bop, beep, wee.
Okay, so now it should look like this. It looks weird now, but this is the reason you do a patch pocket this way is so that when you sew your pocket on, well, let me show you this first. Okay, trim this off, and then you're going to basically turn your hem right side out like this.
How do you not get the guitar sounds in here?
Well, I just hope Layla can edit them out.
No.
Okay, so now your pocket is ready to be stitched down, and you won't have any raw edges right inside your pocket hem. Fancy, right? All the raw edges will be tucked safe inside, deep inside your pocket, and not right here on the edge. So if you've ever struggled with pockets, having the raw edges show, this is the secret.
Did you just fart? It was the chair, listen.
Okay, so I pressed my hem in place, and then I went ahead and pressed my 1/2 inch sides and bottom, and then the bottom of it, I mitered the corners like so. I'm gonna get my cheating glue stick. That's not it. Oh, everything I thought I lost today is right where it's supposed to be. I'm just gonna glue my mitered corner into place so that it stays. So I fold in the triangle, and then I press either side in so I have a nice point here. And again, no raw strings are gonna poke out of my top stitch pocket. Okay, so now that I have the top hem pressed into place, I'm just gonna go stitch it down. Okay, so here's one pocket all ready. I just need to do the other one. Okay, Natalie aside. This is I have it pinned to my overalls right now. And I wanted to see where I want the pockets. So I kind of pinned the pockets where they go. And then the straps, they go from the shoulder and then they cross over to the back and they connect to the opposite back part. Okay, Natalie will demonstrate. Like so. So I'm probably just going to make this full length strap and then cut it to size when I try it on. And I can go ahead and top stitch the pockets down. I need to look at the picture and see, did they have the pockets crooked or straight? I cannot remember. It would also be really cute to put like zigzag across the pockets, but I think it's too late for me. What did I say?
You said zigzag.
Yes, I meant rickrack. I'm a sewer. I know what words are. But it's gonna be super cute. I'm excited. Okay, I found this picture and the pockets are just straight. So I'm gonna sew mine on there straight also. Okay, so to make sure I get them even, I pressed a crease into the center of my apron. So I can measure and make sure my pockets are in the right spot. Equal distance from my crease. Already off. Okay, this is another way I like to use my glue stick. I'm gonna put my ruler, let's see, it looks like I'm 3 1/4 inches from the bottom edge, and then 2 inches from my center crease. So I'm just gonna line that up here. I'm gonna glue it. I will link to this glue stick. It is specifically made for sewing. The Elmer's kind also works, but actually I do like this better because of the smaller applicator. Make sure you get the washable Elmer's if you do use a regular glue stick. Okay, the next step is obvious. I'm going to go edge stitch my pockets in place. Okay, the last step is the straps. So I'm going to sew my straps first. Let me just, I'm gonna make them even lengths. I'm gonna cut off the wonky ends actually. If they're both the same length, it'll make it easier to trim them both the same length when I'm ready to attach them. And this tablecloth didn't have super straight seams. Okay, so all I'm gonna do is sew each one in half, right sides together, with a 1/2 inch seam. Okay, next step is to turn them right side out. Tool, it's called a fast turn. Let's see if these are too big for the biggest tube. It will just save me a little bit of time. And it did work. I will put a link to this tool in the description for you. Worth every penny, I promise. Oh, I feel like I need a snack. Okay, let me just go press these flat. And I think, let's see what the top stitching looks like on the, looks like they did several rows of top stitching and I kind of really like how that looks. So I think I might do that also. I think I might do it every 1/2 inch. Yeah, I think that'll look cool. Okay, I think this looks really cool. I also think it will launder better because the tubes being so big, they won't get like messed up in the wash as much. And I won't have to iron it. So I'm going to attach the straps first to the back because it will be easier to try this on in front of the mirror and pin the front than trying to pin behind my back. So they attach to the back here. Let me just make sure. Or is it here, the side? Yes, like this. And then this one will go across to the front. So let me get my picture again. Oh, I'm all crooked. So they attached theirs to the back of the seam. Oh, it is the top. That's what I thought. Okay, let's see. What's the best way to do this? Okay, so here's how I'm going to attach my strap. I'm going to stitch this here, I think. I'm going to turn it up and top stitch it. Okay, so I'm going to place this in a straight line right below my hem right here, and I'm going to go stitch this on in a 1/4 inch seam. And then, so I stitched that on. Might need to trim this a tiny bit. And then I'm going to flip it back up, press it flat, and top stitch this about 3/8 of an inch from this fold here. This is how to make it nice and strong and sturdy. All right, so this is it from the underside, and this is it from the top. I encased the raw edge, and since it's top stitched, it's nice and strong. Okay, so let me do the other side, and then it's ready for a try on. My other strap, sew it on this way first. Okay, both of my straps are sewn into place. Does anyone who has the thread cutting feature on their machine, I feel like it leaves more of a mess. Maybe it needs adjusted somehow, I don't know. Whenever I need it to look nice, I just don't even use it. Okay, maybe y'all can give me some tips on that. Let me go try this on, see what it looks like. Let's see here, I might pin this here for a sec. And then in the back, they crisscross and come up over my shoulders. This might be more of a 2-person job if you have someone to help you. Look how much longer I made them than I needed to. Let's see where I want them to go. Oh, this is so cute. Are we twisted though? Yes, I am twisted. I think I want it to come across tighter than that. Look how cute. So cute. Okay, all I have to do is finish putting the front straps on. I was reading the reviews on Anthropologie's website for this smock apron, and one person said she's a teacher. She wears it as her teacher apron. She keeps like her dry erase markers and stuff in it. And I sometimes wear an apron when I'm cleaning the house. I always did when I had little kids, because there is always little Legos and hair things to pick up around the house. And I would just pile everything in my apron pocket. So whenever I need a big clean, I can put like the chip clips and all the things in my pockets and just redistribute them as I clean. And then also, I was thinking, this is like my first foray into gardening this season, and gosh, it would be nice to have a gardening apron, somewhere to put my things that I need, my seeds and my digger and my weed cutter things. So there's 3 more uses for aprons for you. Aprons are not just for in the kitchen. I think I'm going to wear this in my kitchen for a couple weeks and see if I like it as much as or more than my regular style of apron before I decide if I'm gonna make more. So yeah, let me go ahead and finish this and then I'll show you. Oopsie. Oh man. Oh my gosh, my grandpa doll is down there.